I have to tell you all because there is a direct impact on what happens to Bitcoin, Ethereum, to what happens to the card world. That's all I have to say. I don't care if you love or hate crypto or Pokemon or Magic, but it is connected. The overwhelming correlation between people sending me crypto to buy cards based on where the crypto prices and the fear versus greed index is really obvious. So, interesting tidbit, everybody.
Heard that one before.
Yeah, you've heard that one? I think that's fair, but I to take even a step further to a lot of the stocks I like here, the CPG landscape, I think collectibles, if you look back in the 50s, 60s, and 70s on Madison Avenue, a lot of these CPGs, the Pepsis, the Hostesses, they integrated collectibles. You look at Hershey's, what they just did with Pokemon. I think collectibles are not only something people are going to collect for monetary value, but I actually think a lot of Fortune 500 companies are going to start using collectibles to drive their day-to-day business.
Well, Gary, what I'm curious about when we're talking about collectibles, are we talking about actually owning the object itself? Because there's a lot of platforms and different firms out there that try to basically securitize these things and offer shares.
Well, now you're getting into like probably the most exciting thing. When you start layering these collectibles into fractionalization, you start talking about what the blockchain can actually do instead of just speculation. Yeah, I think what Wall Street did for companies and fractionalized, I think you will see for collectibles. So that $9 million, one of the reasons so many people that are thoughtful are buying the best of the best is they realize, wait a minute, I'm gonna sell the ownership of this $9 million comic book in fractional shares, and it's going to be worth 17 million because a lot of people like me are going to maybe not put up 9, but I might put up 100,000 for me. Somebody might put up $1. So yeah, I think fractionalization, the blockchain, the things you're seeing ahead of us. We're looking at the Mickey Mantle right now. Those numbers are going crazy, and I think you're starting to see new things go. Video games are starting to emerge as collectibles. In like a Fortnite sold for $40,000 the other day. That's a new game. Forget about Pac-Man and Donkey Kong. So again, correct.
Smartphone.
Correct. The first
original,
iPhone. I'm telling you, I think the audience that watches this show is underestimating this overarching collectible insurgence that we're going to see in people diversifying. But again, going to be activated by Fortune 500 companies to sell their day-to-day products. The best way to sell a bunch of cereal right now is to put a collectible in it like it's 1965. And I think the Kellogg's and the Hostesses and the Pepsis and the Coca-Colas are about to wake up to this trend. The data's pretty clear for anyone who's paying attention. And it is a little more fun. In general, people are looking for a little joy. There's a lot going on in the world. And this is a fun place for people. And it creates community. You look at Comic-Con in San Diego and Javits Center. There's a reason the comic book, the nerds, that whole Revenge of the Nerds thing, it's here.
It's here.
It's here.
It's happening now, Gary. Unfortunately, we have to leave it there.
Devastating.
Trading cards and other collectibles are a hot gift for the holidays. There's some new data on this growing market, and Courtney Reagan has it. She joins us live with more on this. Courtney, I have to say, I know it's about the only thing, at least on my son's Christmas wish list.
Same thing for my son, Becky. That's sort of what got me hot on this story a couple months ago. In fact, I'm at Bleecker Trading in New York City, and while the store's quiet now, it's because it's closed. Afternoons and weekends bring crowds of kidult enthusiasts, and they want to buy, they want to sell, they want to trade, they want to hang out with the collectibles and the trading cards. Morgan Stanley actually values the global collectibles market at $100 billion, with growth rates outpacing most consumer discretionary categories the last 5 years. It forecasts collectibles will gain around 6% annually between 2024 and 2027.
Collectibles has been a growing category on eBay. You know, through Q3, we announced we had 11 straight quarters of accelerating growth in, for example, our trading cards GMV. And so when you look at it, areas like Pokemon right now are really interesting and compelling. Pokemon is up triple digits year on year in terms of growth of collectors really driving enthusiasm.
StockX tells me its collectible sales have increased more than 366% in the last 5 years. Its trading card sales are up nearly 30% in the last 5 years, but 100% in the last year alone. Since the start of Cyber Weekend, site traffic for collectibles and trading cards is up 25% for StockX. And among their top collectibles brands by sales, this is excluding trading cards, so far in the fourth quarter, from the third quarter, Hot Wheels up 90% and Lego up 65%. Now, Dick's Sporting Goods is also capitalizing on collectibles.
Every house of sport going forward is going to have a collector's clubhouse that we're calling it, and there'll be trading cards, there'll be collectibles, football helmets, jerseys, all this. That business has just gone crazy.
They actually have a $1 million card at the Pittsburgh store. Online marketplace StockX says collectors are not only chasing childhood memories, but also viewing cards as an alternative asset with growth potential. This is a fascinating story, and there was so much more that I just didn't have time to get to.
So One Piece is starting to feel like it's evolving again, and I'm starting to think One Piece might be... It might be a bigger thing than I think for the future. I don't think One Piece is a bubble, but I'm starting to think One Piece is going to be, not only is it here to stay, but it's getting to the point, because of what I'm seeing in the market, in chatter, in stores, and people, I'm really thinking this One Piece situation could be a lot bigger than I've realized all along, and One Piece might become a really, really, really big Goliath. Next talk of the town. One Piece. One Piece has completely overtaken the hype and euphoria of Pokemon in the last 90 days. It is off the chart. The amount of people messaging me to buy One Piece. I have very, 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 very little One Piece. Okay? I have a couple positions that are very large in One Piece. I can't even get to it because I threw it in the back of the warehouse. You know what? I'm going to film a silly ass video. I'm going to do that right after this, of me, and I'm going to hold the camera across the row so you guys can see in the distance of how far back the One Piece actually is, of the cases. It's like OP7 or OP8 kind of stuff. Like, I can't even get to it. So I have no plans of even selling or accessing, because I have to spend probably a day or two moving everything, like 5 rows of product just to get to it. Past that, I have very little. I've got, like I said, a couple loose boxes from patrons. I mean, I've been running One Piece sales for 2 years, and I'll keep a couple loose boxes here and there, but I don't have the positions in One Piece that I am with like Magic or Pokemon, clearly. But I wanted to let you guys know, the insanity FOMO of One Piece is unlike, it came out of nowhere. I don't know what the spark was. Some people linked me to documentaries and different things on YouTube. Some people told me about articles on CNBC, or a combination of all of it. But the One Piece thing is wild. It came out of nowhere with a vengeance, man. So that's the One Piece thing. Forewarning, because our next One Piece release is OP14, coming in January, right? And yes, I'm being told it is going to be in waves.
Why is the One Piece flag flying at protests all over the world? This Jolly Roger with a straw hat is the symbol for a ragtag group of pirates from the anime series One Piece. One Piece is a show known for its themes of pushing back against corrupt governments, standing up for those oppressed by the elites, and fighting for freedom and equality. But the use of the One Piece flag as a symbol of defiance didn't start in large coordinated protests like we're seeing today. The early uses of this One Piece flag was actually by truck drivers in Indonesia. Every year in the lead up to Indonesia's Independence Day, truck drivers will display the Indonesian flag as a sign of patriotism. But with growing frustrations over over-regulation, some truck drivers chose to fly the One Piece flag instead of or alongside the Indonesian national flag. And the government didn't like this, but young protesters really did. The themes that are represented in this show really resonated with young demonstrators from Indonesia, the Philippines, Nepal, or as far as Peru and even France. And soon the One Piece flag was flown by anti-corruption demonstrators all over the world. Much like the Guy Fawkes mask became a symbol for anti-establishment movements all over the world, this cartoon pirate logo has become a banner that young people are rallying under. And the cheat code is how much meaning and frustration and nuance that protesters can pack into one enduring symbol. And with these frustrations being felt by so many different populations all over the world, we can expect to see a lot more of the one-piece Jolly Roger.